Hey, Russ Guthrie here, and the purpose of this video is a testimonial and introduction, but with a little twist. And the twist is that it's been 25 years in the making. Let me try to briefly explain. You see, during my Air Force career, I was fortunate to be stationed in Turkey, at a place called Incirlik Air Base, a jointly operated Turkish-American base. This was from 1994 to 1996, and during those 2 years, I did a lot of business with one particular off-base vendor, in what is known as Incirlik Alley, which is the road from the base entrance to the main highway. On the alley, there were lots of shops and restaurants on both sides that primarily served the Americans and their families stationed at Incirlik, as well as local Turkish people. Anyway, the vendor I'm talking about is my friend Gokay Sariyildiz, who has been selling his fine textiles to Americans for 36 years. Gokay's shop is called Yellow Star Carpets, from his last name, Sariyildiz, which means yellow star in Turkish. I remember the first time I went into his shop and met him. He was so friendly and so good at speaking English, and he's gotten even better since then. And on the walls behind his desk were dozens of inscribed photos of some pretty impressive VIPs from the Air Force and DoD, all thanking him for the fine rugs they had gotten from him. Needless to say, I was very impressed. That was some serious social proof. And the rest, as they say, is history. I ended up spending probably a couple hundred hours with Gokay, as well as more than $20,000 during our time together. And now, more than 25 years later, here's what I have to say about Gokay and his wares. I have no regrets. I bought almost 100 pieces from him, carpets, kilims, bags, and trappings, and I still love them all. They have adorned and beautified my walls, added depth and warmth to my floors, provided continuous visual stimulation for my eyes, and multi-textural experiences for my feet. I'm able to rotate and swap them out when I feel like a change of decor, and almost every room in all of my houses since my time in Turkey has been decorated by at least one of the textiles I got from Gokay. I bought both new as well as used items from him, and some of the used items I bought were already somewhat old. The best example would be my twins, a pair of matching carpets from Sariyildiz, Turkey, which is Gokay's hometown, that were already about 70 years old when I bought them. Now, at about 95 years old, they still look beautiful. They are still fully intact, and their value has increased significantly. Yeah, that's right, old textiles rarely devaluate over time if cared for properly. Have you ever watched Antiques Roadshow when old rugs were being evaluated? I don't know about you, but I really appreciate things that are made well, that stand the test of time. It's one of the reasons why I took up stained glass as a hobby. Like fine rugs, stained glass windows can last for centuries, and that matters to me. Gokay offers textiles from multiple countries, including Iran or Persia, Afghanistan, Russia, and of course Turkey, from multiple tribes within multiple provinces of those countries, and they are all hand-woven. I admit, when I first got to Turkey, I bought a few machine-made rugs. I didn't know any better at the time, and I hadn't gotten far enough down the alley to find Yellow Star yet. But after I found out about hand-woven rugs, it was all over. I was hooked. In fact, here is my going away plaque. So, what do I find so appealing about hand-woven textiles? Well, first, I love the designs and patterns and colors. They stimulate my mind. You know how parents are advised to put lots of patterns and colors and such in front of their babies? Because it stimulates brain activity and growth? Well, I don't think that stops or should stop after we get older, because those designs, patterns, and colors still work the same way on adult minds. Then there's the background of each piece. Each is a one-off and each is 100% handmade, unique, original, one of a kind, made by a woman or man in probably a cottage industry or a pastoral type of setting, over a period of days, weeks, or even months, using wool from the sheep that their family or a neighboring family have loved and nurtured for months, in all sorts of weather, on all sorts of terrain. Wool that has been shorn, spun, and dyed in a small-scale family operation instead of in an industrial setting. That's for wool rugs. Gokay also carries a large selection of silk rugs from Iran. As far as quality rugs go, the silk rugs from the former Persia are no doubt among the finest in the world. Obviously because silk is a precious material, but also because of the ability of silk to take dye so well and to be woven into extremely detailed patterns. The third reason why I love handmade textiles so much is that they're useful. Rugs provide floor cover and wall decoration. bags are both functional as well as beautiful. I think I may have a total of 2 purely decorative pieces. The rest were made to provide a function, and I love that something so gorgeous can also do a job. Which brings me to the last reason why I love hand-woven things like these. It's because they are art. It's not just about the designs and colors, it's not just about the background of the piece, and it's not just that they are useful. It's that the combination of these things creates actual art, functional art. So to my mind, what's not to love? Not too long ago, Gokay added some smaller items to his inventory. Purses, wallets, and key fobs made from Turkish leather and remnants from Turkish kilns. I can tell you that the leather wallet I bought there in the mid-90s is still riding in my back pocket all these years later. So the quality of the leather, stitching, and work in general is quite good. Plus, Gokay wouldn't damage his sterling reputation by selling anything cheap or touristy. So, as far as a range of items and prices to select from, you have many choices. And when it comes to getting your items to you, no worries. He uses DHL for shipping, and the shipping is included in the quote he gives you. About a year and a half ago, I bought a few more items from Gokay. We talked on the phone, and after catching up a bit, I gave him my credit card number. About a week later, I had my package, and I took great joy in unpacking it and was very pleased with the contents. And that's all there is to it, except for something I just found out when I recently spoke with him on Messenger, and that is, Incirlik Air Base personnel have been banned from going off base since August of 2015, and the family members that used to accompany them, like my daughter did with me, have been disallowed as well. Either the Turkish or American governments made this change, and it's been almost 4 years now. Prior to that, the alley was a booming and fun place for service members and their families, with plenty of shops and restaurants to explore. But since then, most of the shops have closed, and the ones that have remained are mostly scraping by. And that's a real shame for both the local vendors as well as their very interested potential customers. But the good news is that thanks to the power of the internet, anyone from here can do business with Gokay over there. Now, the gift-giving season is soon to be upon us again, and that's why I decided to make this video now, to give you an idea for some extremely durable and long-lasting gifts that can end up being generational. I expect to leave all my textiles to my daughter when I pass, and even if I'm around for another 50 years, they will all most likely still be in great condition when I go. If you happen to live in a big enough city that there's an Oriental carpet shop or two, you might want to pop in for a visit to see what kind of prices they're asking. But there aren't many of such shops available in most cities. I live in Las Vegas, and the entire population of the Las Vegas Valley is about 2.5 million, yet I can only find one true carpet shop listed in Google. I haven't stopped in at that shop yet, but I can virtually guarantee any prices you see in the States will be much higher than what you'd pay with Gokay. That's mainly because of the favorable exchange rate between the US dollar and the Turkish lira, but also because Gokay is actually in Turkey. His resources and list of connections are vast. So the selection will also be far more limited in a shop in the States than what you'd have with Yellow Star, that's for sure. And one more thing. Rugs from certain countries like India, Pakistan, and China, among others, aren't up to the standards of the rugs Gokay sells from a few select countries. It's easy to be fooled by what appears to be good quality, and certain stores in the U.S. try to convince unwary shoppers that such inferior rugs are worth paying a premium for. So, this is my recommendation to you to reach out to Gokay, browse his website and his Facebook page, and learn more about him and his wares. He didn't ask me to make this video. I've been meaning to do it for a while now, to turn other people on to a guy who has remained in the forefront of my mind all these years because of the visual reminders I have of him throughout my house. Probably 85% of all gifts bought this coming season will come from China, mass-produced, made from questionable materials under questionable working conditions, built for obsolescence. Maybe this year you can think outside the normal shopping box and try a one-on-one with a foreign vendor who has a long and positive history of working with American service members, and try a non-standard gift. I hope you'll give him a try. Like I said, I have no regrets. I'm sure you'll feel the same way once you get that first hand-woven marvel in your hands. Thanks for watching.